Now, streaming live, this is KSLA News Now.
It's for KSLA News 12 at 9. Our Fastcast, I'm Jeff Horchak. Here's what's topping our headlines at 10 o'clock. New at 9, Shreveport police continue their investigation into a serious accident. Now, around 6 p.m. tonight, police say that a car was heading down North Market Street when the driver suffered a possible medical emergency. 2 people were taken to the hospital, and SPD says the pedestrian has life-threatening injuries and the driver has serious injuries. We'll, of course, keep you first alert on KSLA.com as we continue to work to get more information. In your crime tracker tonight, the Natchitoches Police Department are now investigating the shooting on Theophile Alley as a homicide. On Sunday night around 8 o'clock, officers were called to a shooting on Theophile Alley, and when they arrived on the scene, they found a victim suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Now, on Tuesday, investigators with MPD were told by hospital staff in Caddo Parish that the victim died from their injuries. The shooting is still under investigation. In your consumer alert, inflation picked up for U.S. production in November. The 0.2% jump from October was fueled largely by rising energy prices. Now, November's numbers actually came late due to delays from the government shutdown last year. The report also includes some data from October, which showed the producer price index rose 0.1% during that month. Now, the PPI is frequently seen as a predictor of what consumers may see in the months ahead. Well, Shreveport police recently reported that domestic violence cases have gone up at least by 10% since 2024. SPD says that a leading factor is the seasonal changes throughout the year. They say when there's more time for people to be at home, the violence increases. And Project Celebration, a shelter that's designed for domestic violence survivors, say they've noticed a real increase and say one of their biggest challenges right now is just dealing with overcapacity. They say when this happens, they have to start making room for survivors in any way they can.
And so in our safe house, we're not able to accommodate that increased number. We send them to our home bases in Manny, Louisiana. We have a safe house there. And then we use our sister programs. In the state of Louisiana, it's 16 DV programs. So we use our sister programs, whether in Monroe, Ruston, Alexandria. So we just reach out to other and get them safe until we can figure out, or what, depending on what they want to do, because it's all about trauma-informed, whatever they want to do.
And coming up at 10, to hear from Project Celebration, a survivor who also helps those in need. Excuse me. Well, keeping you health aware, tomorrow is the deadline for people in Louisiana to sign up or renew their medical insurance. The last chance to sign up for a healthcare.com gov plan, and sometimes it's called Obamacare, is by midnight tomorrow. Now, those plans will begin February 1st. Louisiana Blue officials say that despite a significant number of changes to federal health care coverage, it's still a necessity to avoid any surprise charges derailing your financial outlook. If you have any questions before the deadline, you can call Louisiana Blue at 1-844-GET-BLUE for a free consultation.
You need someone there to help you to afford these expensive medical treatments, and unfortunately, it's very difficult to predict exactly what you're going to need and when.
Well, keep that heavy coat handy. We got some cold air on the way tonight and more cold air heading our way for the weekend. I'll have the details next.
KSLA First Alert Weather.
Yeah, let's take a live look outside this evening, and we are seeing clear skies and still kind of windy too. It's really getting cold out there right now. It's going to get even colder as we head through tonight. So tonight into tomorrow, turning sharply colder, and we're talking overnight lows tonight dropping below freezing. Highs tomorrow only in the low to mid 50s, and then Friday is really going to be the peak day of that 7-day forecast as we briefly warm back into the mid to upper 60s. So Friday going to be a pretty decent day overall, and then the weekend arrives and we're tracking another strong cold front. This one's going to bring some colder air back into the forecast once again. Speaking of cold air, temperatures dropping right now outside. It's going to drop quickly through the rest of the overnight hours down to 38 degrees by 3 o'clock in the morning, and eventually will be near or below freezing. I think pretty much everybody tonight will be at or below that freezing point. Shreveport probably the warmest spot at 32, but most other areas dropping below that freezing point. And as you go north of I-30, we're talking overnight temperatures there in the low 20s up around to Queens. So definitely going to be a very, very cold start tomorrow morning. You definitely want to bundle up, and it's going to be a slow climb tomorrow. We're going to remain in the 30s all the way through 9 o'clock. So very cold morning tomorrow. We really don't even warm back up until we get to about noon or so, 47 by that time. And then we get into the afternoon hours. We're back into the low 50s, but that's below average. We're not going to have as much wind as we had today, but still a pretty chilly afternoon. 52 Natchitoches, 53 at Texarkana, Marshall at about 54 degrees. And then looking ahead to the weekend, we're tracking another front. This front is going to bring some much colder air. In fact, this cold front is even stronger than the one that's going to bring the cold air tonight. So we're talking turning much colder over the weekend. And this time, there's going to be just enough moisture, I think, that we could squeeze out a few snow flurries. Yes, that is a possibility that we see a few flakes kind of flying around in the sky as we head into Saturday evening. But if we do see that, and again, that's a pretty low chance at this point, if we do get a few flurries out of this, it's not going to accumulate. It's not going to, cause any road issues or anything like that, but definitely something to watch as we head closer to the weekend. There's your wind chill forecast. Saturday morning dropping into the upper 30s for those feels-like temperatures throughout the afternoon on your Saturday. Our feels-like temperature is likely going to stay in the 40s, so it's going to be rather cold. We get into Sunday morning, and wind chills will likely be in the low to mid 20s, and even some wind chills in the teens in the northern portions of the Arctic. So it is definitely going to get a lot colder for the weekend. Here's our 7-day forecast: 53 for tomorrow, 66 on Friday. That's your warm day, and then that next front comes in. 50 on Saturday, down to 28 Saturday night. 53 on Sunday. It stays pretty chilly as we head into next week. Our next chance of rain arriving by Wednesday.
Wow, it's amazing. Impossible snow flurries that gets everybody's ears perked up.
Tiny, teeny chance. I just wanted to include it in the forecast because, I would not be totally surprised if we did see, a few flurries on Saturday evening. The good news with that is it's not going to accumulate and it's not going to cause any road impacts.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to see, though. I don't know, it'd be kind of neat.
So don't go crazy and ransack the grocery stores.
No.
You won't need it for a few flurries.
No, you don't need it for that. It's going to be a very minor. So.
All right, sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for watching News 12 now at 9. I'm Jeff Forchak. This is, of course, Matt Jones. We'll be back at 10 o'clock. You can always stay up to date on the latest news, weather, and sports. You can just download our KSLA News 12 app or go to KSLA.com. We'll see you at 10. Thanks for watching.